As a content marketing strategist, I think about content a lot. It's my full-time job. Before I became an expert at content creation and marketing, I used to struggle to write content because I held some very limiting beliefs and I believed in these myths that held me from creating content that my people wanted to hear. Hi, I'm Seema Pateel and I help introverted online service-based businesswomen create content that converts authentically so that they can simplify selling their high-ticket offers. And today's conversation is all about busting some myths, clearing some limiting beliefs that you may be holding as well, so that you too can create content with ease. Like I mentioned, I had some very limiting beliefs about creating content. These were the myths that somebody else already tried to help me with in their content, but it somehow just didn't stick with me. Like I just couldn't get past my beliefs, and I had to do a lot of mindset work in order to get over these thoughts that I held as beliefs. And I see the exact same beliefs that I had being repeated to me when I ask other introverted businesswomen what they struggle with most when it comes to creating content. Let's dive in. The very first myth is that you have to create never heard before, totally new content in order for your people to find your content interesting and engaging. Oh my God, this one had me totally held so tight as a hostage that whenever I would sit down to create content, any topic that I wanted to write about, I would think that this has already been spoken of. Like someone has created a 10,000 word blog post with every single thing that I could ever think of writing about on the subject. Now, when that blog has been there for a couple of years at least on the internet, why would anybody be interested in what I have to say on this topic? So I wouldn't write. I would spend more time coming up with ideas, which is really very hard because let's face it, everything that you think is your own idea has already been done, and done a slightly different way, but already been done, promoted, marketed, bought with raving customers and clients. So creating something brand new that has never been heard before, frankly, is not possible. You are solving very similar problems. It's just that the way you apply solutions that were previously applied for something else is the only difference that you are trying to sell. For example, marketing itself. Yes, things have changed because of social media. We no longer depend on print. The same problem was there when television and radio first came. And now when social media has come, people are adapting the same psychological buying practices and implementing strategy for social media so that it is relevant for the medium rather than just thinking, how can I replicate print to television to radio to social media? So what happened was I was listening to this new coach, a marketing coach, and she was talking about the same old strategies that I had heard for the past entire year or so. There was nothing new, like she didn't have a brand new strategy to share with us, but the strategy somehow made amazing sense. Like it was so clear to me what she was trying to convey that I could implement it in my business just by listening to her free live videos. And that's when it occurred to me that though she wasn't saying anything brand new, the way she was trying to express the concepts, the examples she was giving, the words that she was using were all very relatable. as soon as I found it relatable, I found it easy to understand, and I could see how I can implement it in my own business. Until I came across her, things felt really hard. And the strategy was like, how am I going to do this? I don't have this, I don't have that. And all these things that I could hold myself back with, I had all of those excuses. Only after listening to her, I realized, oh my God, these are excuses, not reasons. I can do this myself. That's when I realized, oh my God, to create content, I don't have to come up with a brand new, never heard before topic or a concept. I just have to speak what I have experienced, what I think, my opinions, my beliefs, my experiences, and that is what is going to connect with my people, not with everyone in the world. Everyone in the world can go to the 10,000 word blog post on Google already, but my people will understand what I have to say because they can relate to what I say, how I speak, the examples I give, the experiences that I share. And that is what stopped me from not creating content. In the beginning, I had a little bit of a hard time because it was a habit. It was a very long habit of saying no to myself because it didn't feel like the right thing to do, trying to repeat what's already there. So I still went ahead and created content which wasn't the best, I will admit it. But that experience of writing and understanding what I was doing wrong when I was writing helped me stop regurgitating whatever I was consuming and share my thoughts on the concept with my examples and make it relatable for my people. And that's when my content started getting traction. People started liking reading what I had to say. They started sharing their own opinion based on what I was writing. It was a little bit uncomfortable in the beginning, I will not deny. Being an introvert, when people respond back to my content, it felt very scary because I was getting more visible. But I assure you, now I am very happy that I took these steps. I changed how I think about creating content, and I started thinking about how my words are going to help my people, and everything about how I create content changed from there. And the more I wrote, the more I shared my content, the more people interacted with me, the more visible I got. I could see certain patterns in my behavior, in the way I create content, and certain patterns in the responses that I was getting from my people, which helped me create more fresher content, which wasn't exactly the same. It wasn't the same kind of, the overall concept was same, but it wasn't exactly same thing that has already been handled or responded to by somebody else. Finally, I was able to share my personal views on the topics that my people were struggling with, and that made me so happy. Like, all of this discomfort that I was feeling in the beginning about creating content, repeating the same concepts, now has totally left me. I love creating content for my people, and I love putting myself out there because I now know for sure that I'm helping my people and not just putting out content for the sake of content. I always say content for the sake of content is just noise. But don't let these words deter you from starting somewhere. I don't mind if you regurgitate what somebody else has already said, if that's where you want to start. You have to start somewhere, and the beginning is never the final thing. So you polish your content as you practice, as you grow. So I would suggest start anywhere, just whatever feels comfortable. You don't have to share it everywhere. Share it in a one closed Facebook group which you enjoy most, which is relevant to your business, of course. And once you feel a little comfortable with people over there, recognizing your effort and giving you feedback on what you write, you can continue to expand and get more visible in more places. Myth or belief number 2: you have to create fresh content week after week after week after week. I've had this conversation with my coach multiple times, and she has had to say the same thing every time. Seema, you don't have to create fresh content all the time. Use the posts that you've created a few weeks or months, however long you've been creating content for. Go back to the beginning. Find the ones that you love the most at that time and repurpose it. Either just post it as it is or make it better if you didn't like the way you expressed it, or if you have a new experience, share that and make it better. And I can't tell you how many times I've saved myself from feeling a lack of not knowing what to say because I've said everything I know, because I went and read one of my old posts. I saw how I could tweak it. I saw it through the lens of today's Seema, and I redid it, and it resonated a lot better with my people than it did the first time. And that was something that my people had to hear again. So never believe that you have to create fresh content over and over and over again. Yes, keep creating fresh content every time you're inspired, but if you already have 8 to 10 weeks of content available, 8 to 10 weeks of daily content that you've created available, then repurpose some of it from the first couple of weeks. You will see you have learned so much in just 8 weeks duration that you can make that particular post even better. This myth or belief is especially true for brand new business owners, because they see these seasoned, experienced, long-term business owners create a ton of almost fresh looking content, and they are constantly visible on tens of platforms, and that immediately makes a relatively new business owner feel that they are doing something wrong, because that's not what they are doing. The more experienced people are getting more clients, are charging more for their service because they are putting out a lot of content, and that is resonating very well. It's an easy one to fall for. However, let me be very clear in stating that those experienced people are not doing it all on their own. They have hired people. They've hired a VA probably to repurpose the older content. They have hired a social media manager who is taking their long form content that they're creating and putting it across all kinds of platforms. So they are not doing it all by themselves. Because they have a team, they may be having somebody who is helping them create content strategy itself. Someone like me who is sitting down with them and helping them create a content strategy, because of which they are able to put out more content. If all of these tasks are being done just by you, you're a solopreneur, then I recommend you do not try to imitate someone who has help of more than one person in their business. I recommend you go with what you can do. If you can put out content only in Facebook group that you have created, then by all means just do that. Once that has become a habit, that has become easy and simplified, you can add more things to it. But I never recommend trying to be on tens of platforms. My recommendation always is have one long form content, which is either your blog, your podcast, your YouTube channel, whatever is your favorite way of creating content. And use that long form content to break down into smaller snippets and put it on social media. Now, if you're doing Facebook Lives in your own group, then I recommend you just use the live snippets from the live and post it frequently in your own group. Your people can't always go through the entire video. Your people don't always remember all of the highlights. Whatever resonates with them the most, that's what they will remember. So don't think that you are boring people or you're repeating yourself. That's your job. Have you ever seen anything done the very first time you tell your own child? it takes at least 3 to 4 reminders, and in spite of that, you may have to remind them 3 or more times. So think about it the same way. As adults, we are also busy people who can't always remember everything we consume. So when you repeat, you make it easy, you make a better impact, you make a bigger impact. So don't ever think that you have to keep creating fresh content all the time. Repurpose content, revisit old content, make it better if you can. If not, just post it as it is. People need to hear it more than just twice or thrice. And think about it, on social media, you may not always see your own friends' content all the time. Social media algorithm depends on how much engagement you've got from the views or impressions you've had. So if people haven't engaged with your content already, it's already being shown to very few people, which means if you even have just 100 followers, only 10 or 20 people may have already seen, which means your super valuable content that you've created, because you didn't share it multiple times, the other 80 to 90 people never ever got to see it. Yes, some of the people would have seen it multiple times. It would register in their head much more stronger, but the others also would read it, and who knows, you would save somebody so much time that that one post would make them your loyal followers. Isn't that great? Because someone who is loyally following you will definitely buy from you as soon as the time is right for them. So when you think about it, you repeating content is not just beneficial for you, it's also beneficial for your followers. The third one, oh my god, it's such a silly one, and I'm sure you must have felt this if you are not able to create content consistently. The third belief or a myth that I held very strongly was, if I'm trying to be on two places like Facebook and on Instagram, I should create different content for each of the platforms. How ridiculous does that sound when I'm already struggling to just create some content? And it took me a really long time to understand that whatever I post on Facebook is not necessarily being seen by my followers on Instagram, because we're not all in the same place. Like, we are not sharing the same Facebook group. We are probably not following each other on Facebook. So me not sharing what I've shared on Facebook to Instagram is taking away, or is stealing, or is cheating my followers on Instagram from whatever golden nuggets that I'm sharing on Facebook by not sharing it with them. Like, doesn't that sound very, very mean and selfish? Now, I will tell you that the kind of content that you create for Facebook is definitely going to be different from the kind of content you create for Instagram. For Instagram, how do people go to Instagram? Nobody is sitting and scrolling through Instagram because they want to. People go on Instagram because they have 5 or 10 minutes to kill. Granted, they stay on for 4 hours, but they didn't go in with an intention of going through a huge 45-minute lesson. They didn't go in there thinking they will read an entire 2,000 or 3,000 word blog post. They went there to quickly consume something, to go through, to know what's happening in their friends' life, the people who they follow. So it's not necessarily their friends, but it's the people who they are following. So if you're following big entrepreneurs like Jenna Kutcher and Jasmine Star, you may have just gone there to see what's happening with their adorable daughters, but you end up scrolling through the feed and you read others' posts also, and you learn a little bit without knowing. But if the caption is, say, not quick to consume, most definitely you may save the post, but you will not read it. Think about that exact scenario, and when you're creating content for Instagram, make it quick to consume and direct them to your blog where everything is in detail, so that When they have time, they go to your blog post. They will remember this. They will definitely remember this. When they are looking for specific things, like, for example, you shared how to increase engagement. That's something they'll be interested in because they are on Instagram. So they will definitely make sure to go and check out your blog when they have the extra time, even though they've been scrolling on Instagram for the past 3 hours. They're not going to read the blog now, but they will put it aside as a to-do item for some other time. But they will go and read it. But if you put your blog post right there in the captions, they will not be interested. They will not even add it to their mental to-do list that I have to go and check out her blog. They will ignore you altogether. So make sure that whatever platform you're using, make sure your content is tailored for that, is designed for that. Go through the user behavior, but don't ever think that what you posted on Facebook group cannot be posted on Instagram, because you should create totally different content for both. And the very last belief or myth that I held on to: videos are not for introverts. Oh my God, I can't tell you how wrong I was. I mean, the only reason you and I would believe this to be true is if we want to hold ourselves back. There's no other reason why videos cannot be for an introvert. Yes, talking to a camera can feel awkward in the beginning. Talking to a camera may feel very uncomfortable when you realize that people cannot just read what you have to say. They can see you, they can hear you. But if you are saying that you can't get in front of a camera just because you're an introvert, I want you to change that thought forever. You're not in front of the camera because you're holding on to this belief, not because you can't be in front of the camera. The camera is just one person, your best friend that you're talking to. And why would you say that you can't talk to your best friend? Don't share all of the videos that you create until you feel comfortable. But at least record yourself talking to see what's stopping you from feeling that the camera is your best friend. See, if you're shy, I get it. I felt very shy and awkward when I had to first think about filming videos. But then I did it. I did it just for myself. It was on my phone for a while. I deleted it later because I couldn't just stand looking at myself. But I did keep trying. By the 5th time, I was okay recording myself and sharing it with a small group of people who I wanted to give me feedback so that I could improve. And they gave me a couple of suggestions that I was holding the mic, like I was covering the mic when I was holding the phone, and I should maintain a little bit of distance. I should probably use headphones or a lapel mic like this. So I had got a lot of good suggestions. Then I used all of these. You don't have to always. I started with the headphones with mic that I had, and once I started filming proper YouTube videos, that's when I got the mic. Until then, I didn't think about it. So you don't have to start there. Just start with your phone, talk to it looking at the lens. That was the very first, most uncomfortable thing I had to overcome. When you're feeling okay about how it's coming out, you can think about sharing it with a small private Facebook group. You don't have to make a YouTube channel and publish it like I am doing it right from the get-go. That's not how I did it. Neither do you have to do it. You never have to start a YouTube channel, but you can create videos and share content with your people, either in email sequences or as lessons or lives. I was very uncomfortable with lives because I always kept getting too conscious and forgetting what I had to say. But now I can manage it a lot better. I just need an outline, because without that I do get lost, but I just need an outline, and I'm very comfortable doing lives now. So start, and only when you start and practice will you get better at it. Now, if you're saying, oh my God, Seema, what will people think about how I look, how I talk? I can't even think properly when I'm looking at the camera's lens. Then That's just a mindset issue. Trust me, I do not like how I look on the camera, or rather, I did not like. I still don't take a lot of photographs of myself, but I have worked on my mindset that me not sharing my content with you is taking away my value that I can provide to you in your business, in your life, because of a very selfish reason that I don't like how I look on camera. And that's selfish because who knows, just the way marketing strategies clicked for me because of that one person who went live day after day in her group so that she could help all of us who were in her group. I would be not able to help someone like that. And that's why I am running a business. I don't just want this business because it makes money. I want it because of the impact it is going to make in the thousands of lives of introverted women who want to run a successful business but who can't because they're holding themselves back. It may feel like easier said than done, and it's not, I promise. It took a lot of work. Like I said, I first started filming, deleting it because I hated it. And then I filmed videos which I did many takes. It didn't come out well the very first time. I had to repeat myself so many times. It was exhausting. One 5-minute long video would take me about 4 hours because I kept losing track of things. I kept fumbling and mumbling. I made so many mistakes. It was a lot of hard work. And I hated looking at myself, which means I had to work on my mindset again. Self-love is an important part of trying to get in front of people. It doesn't matter whether it's my written content or my video. I hate written content. I hate it. I'm not going to say I don't like it. I really hate it. It messes with my head. I can't express. I make a lot of mistakes when I speak. I am not grammatical. I totally understand that. But I also understand you are able to follow what I'm saying when I'm talking. But if I wrote this way, you would never be able to follow what I'm saying because I would be everywhere. So the way my content reaches you when you hear me, when you watch me on a video, is totally different from the way it will reach you when you read. So if I had to share what I have to say, I had to create a podcast or a video. I chose video because, let's face it, going forward, video is the thing. So why not face the hurdle and overcome it before it becomes kind of an inevitable thing? That was my mindset when I started. So I worked really hard to be here so that I can constantly, week after week, create these videos and share with you so I can help you. So here's a hack that I used when I started and I hated how I looked, how I talked and everything. First of all, I made a list of all the fears that I had, how I would be judged, what I would be judged on, what all things people could say or think about me. And then I wrote down why these are excuses and not actual reasons. For example, I have an accent. And it's not Indian totally, it's not American totally, but I have an accent. And that made me very uncomfortable, but I worked through it. I have an accent. There are a lot of people who have accents, and we still understand each other, which means I should be good. As long as I am speaking clearly, I should be good. People should be able to figure out what I'm saying, and that works. That's more than enough for me. So my fear that people will dislike my accent, all I had to repeat to myself week after week, like day after day and week after week, that I do have an accent and that's cool. People understand me in spite of my accent. When I talk to people face to face, when I talk to people on phone, people understand me, so they can definitely understand what's going on in the video. And if they don't, I will definitely add some captions and that should take care of it. So this is how you can get over your mindset issues. Now, if you want to fast track this, I recommend you hire a mindset coach and do the work with him or her. If you're looking for recommendations, please post in the comments that you're looking for recommendations. I do have a few and I'll share them with you. If you're thinking, oh Seema, I want to very badly start a YouTube channel, but it's such a hurdle, like I have to figure out so many things, I don't have time for it, then let me tell you, that's just an excuse. Because it's not very hard. What kind of equipment to use? Use your phone. You want to buy a camera? Get a Canon M50 or a Sony 6400. Good enough. Research them. You don't want to just research these two cameras and see what comes up. YouTube itself is a great place to research these. You will probably need 30 to 40 minutes and you will know which camera you want to buy. You don't know how to script these things? I don't. Initially, I tried. It was very distracting. Like, I did deliver very well. It didn't look like I was reading. It was before I started my YouTube channel. I wanted to try. It was all in my personal videos. So I did try, but it was very hard to focus on the camera lens and on the screen to read it, and it was hard. So instead of that, what I started doing was writing detailed outlines. Like, I wrote the high level things, the topic, and what I wanted to say under each thing, and now I just write the main points and important examples that I don't want to miss, and I do a good job. I'm still working on my mindset on that. I do a good enough job that I am not feeling lost. Like, I have my notes here. I look at it occasionally and I'm able to say what I want to say without feeling totally lost and without rambling on forever like I used to. If you go to my how to niche video, I went on and on. It's a 40-minute long video and it was almost a hour to 15 minutes long overall footage. So it was a lot, and then I had to trim it down. So I stopped writing all of the examples and everything. It's okay if I forget a couple of examples. That's fine, as long as I am giving you just one example that makes it very clear about what I'm trying to say. That's good. If you want more, you'll definitely reach out to me, won't you? So it's all you need. It takes practice. Once you have practiced, you will get to be where I am, or even you will figure out a better way to do it yourself. Who knows, you might enjoy having a prompter giving you everything clearly, and you would enjoy speaking. Finish recording your videos much faster than I used to. So don't hold yourself back, just take a leap of faith. If you still are saying that, sorry Seema, I'm an introvert, videos are not for me, then there's nothing wrong with it. Don't think I'm forcing you to get on videos if you're not comfortable with it. If you are okay with a podcast, go ahead. That's your way of delivering content. If you're okay just with writing, go ahead. That's your way of delivering content. But don't let anything hold you back from sharing your valuable thoughts and beliefs and opinions with your people who are eager to hear from you. You heard me. Your people are eager to hear from you. They don't want to hear from anybody else. They don't want any Jenna Kutcher or Jasmine Star or Amy Porterfield or James Wedmore. They don't want all of these big people. They want you. So think about that. If they want you and you hold yourself back because you don't like to write, you don't like being seen, you don't like how you sound, then you're robbing your people from what they deserve from you. Your content's one and only one job is to get your potential clients, get to know, like, and trust you, so that when you have something to offer them, they can buy from you. If your content is not doing this already, and if you don't want to keep figuring out how to do this via free content or courses, then I recommend you get on a call with me so I can support you in creating a sales process that is tailored to your personality as an introvert, so that you can simplify selling your high ticket offer, get booked out finally with the right kind of clients, with the clients who love working with you, who want everybody to work with you because you're so amazing at what you do. If you just want to get into that space, then definitely reach out to me. You can post a comment, you can click the link in the description so that we can get on a call and we can figure out how I can support you in your business. In my next video, I'll be sharing how to conduct discovery calls that actually convert. Let's recap what beliefs you should be shedding from this moment onwards. You need to never ever create content that has never ever been published before. Okay? You don't need to keep creating fresh content all of the time. You can repurpose content. You can post the same content on every platform. Just make sure to tailor it slightly so that it is for the audience on that platform. You don't have to write fresh content for each platform. Just tailor it to the platform. You can be on video even if you're an introvert, just like me. You can start a podcast if you don't like video, if you really don't like video and you enjoy speaking, not just recording videos. If neither audio nor video is your cup of tea because that's just not where your strength lies and your strength lies in written content, then most definitely stick with blogs. You can change things up when you feel like you want to say things to people instead of just write. So there is no hard and fast rule, but videos are not just for extroverts, okay? So now that you know all of these beliefs that you're holding on to, and I have shared with you how you can get over these, I hope you won't be holding yourself back. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And if you like this content, please like it. And if you didn't, please dislike it because it tells me what kind of content I should be creating. The more you interact with me, the easier it is for me to create content that you actually can benefit from than just the content that I enjoy creating and it doesn't work as well for you. If you need help with something related to content marketing, don't forget to put it in the comments below so that I can help you by creating more videos on the topics that you ask for. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.